Yeah.
Welcome to More Than a Number podcast, episode number 3. I'm Jack Link here with Zach LaFave. Zach, how's it going?
Living a dream, man. Living the dream. I was up early this morning, had a few clients, and I'm going into work in a little bit here. What about you? What you got going on?
There you go. Just hit some good back today, a little bit of running, and then I think I'm going to church later, and nothing too crazy. Just a casual weekend. It was a good week of work at the restaurant downtown. How's the clients been? So are you doing like one client at a time, or is it multiple? How does that work?
So I try to schedule them around like the same time. So like
Yep.
The gym itself for me is probably 35-40 minutes away. So I don't like to do like multiple trips. Obviously it's not right around the corner. So with all the clients, I kind of just try to schedule them around the same time. So like if I have to come back once or twice in a day, that's fine. So like I'll have usually some morning clients, and then I'll come back, maybe take a nap, meal prep, do whatever I got to do, and then I'll have some late afternoon to like evening clients as well. But that makes sense. Today, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, I work at the bar, so I try to get them all done in the morning. But
yeah, fair enough. That's good. Yeah, because it probably revolves around the people who are working. So either go before work or after work, I'm guessing, for most people, right?
Yeah. So like during the week, especially, you're gonna get those people that want to come in at like 5, 6, 7, and then usually I'll get a break, and then actually some people will schedule around like 1 or 2, which is kind of weird because because you'd think they'd be at work, but you never know. And then again, I get another wave at around like 4, 5, 6.
Nice. Yeah, I was talking to, I don't know what job I was interviewing with, and they said they give you like some sort of bonus midday if you go work out. So like I guess some jobs are maybe just trying to get their employees healthy, I guess. I'm not sure, but that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I've actually never heard of that, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I know the job now, but yeah, it was pretty good sales pitch to come on. They're giving you workout time, which is really valuable, especially if you don't have to work out at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. It's pretty nice because it can be tiring working out early.
You said it was a bonus, so like they pay you?
Yeah, you get like maybe like a little bit of an incentive or something. It's I don't think it's anything crazy, but definitely makes sense to work out, and it's not like detrimental to your work or like your jobs. Your boss isn't gonna get mad at you, or it's like encouraged, you know what I mean? Which is really good.
Hell yeah. Before we hop in, I've been doing Sunday dinners, man. I'm into culinary, and I've been trying to.
Let's go.
Yeah, dude. So I've been doing Sunday dinners for my family, and I kind of try to switch it up each week. What I do this week, we're doing. You can look at it however you want to. I'm looking at it as like a homemade Arby's. So I got a big roast. So I'm gonna slow cook it in the oven and sear it on a cast iron.
Ooh, nice.
And then we got a little mandolin, and we're gonna cut it real thin, get some roast beef action. I'm doing a homemade Arby's sauce and a homemade cheese sauce. So it's gonna be like
sweet
big Arby's sandwiches, man.
Let's go, dude. What kind of rolls are you using?
That's the thing. So we were thinking about either doing like the beef on wick rolls, like the Kimball
the Kimball wick rolls or fire.
Yeah. So we were thinking about either doing those or just a nice brioche. That's the only thing I haven't gotten yet, though. Is the rolls.
Yeah, that's good. The rolls is key.
Key.
Especially if you're gonna have like kind of not like a cheat because it's just protein, but like if you're gonna have kind of like one of those good Sunday meals, good roll really completes it.
Some of them are definitely more cheat meals than other. Like the past 3 weeks, because this is like kind of the Sunday is like my one day that I kind of like not let loose, but like and I kind of don't really be as strict with the calories and stuff like that. So some days are more cheaty than the others, but the past couple of weeks I've been keeping it kind of simple. Still kind of like a cheat because you're not doing the same foods, and you're probably cooking with more oils and fats and stuff like that. But I've been doing just like a solid portion of protein, and then just like a few side dishes.
That's good.
Yeah, but it's been good, man. I've been boosting my game.
Yeah, that's the growth meals right there. That's that's how you get big. That's when I was a kid. That's all every like dinner meal, man. You're getting mac and cheese and hot dog or whatever.
You gotta go in
chicken thighs or whatever. We're growing every
like
dinner.
80% of your calories are coming from that dinner.
Dude, that dinner is big time. So that's how I used to. I think that's how I got bigger when I grew up. So that's funny. That's funny. Your family's doing good?
Yeah. They're all doing good, man. We all had that.
Yeah. Is Hannah good too?
The flu. What'd you call it?
The Wuhan flu.
Wuhan flu. So we all got rid of that.
Okay,
so we're all
good.
solid now. Yeah, Hannah's
Nice.
good. Yep, she got over it.
Yeah, I think my whole family got hit by it too.
Dude,
like
the New Year's, Christmas.
New Year's?
Yeah, New Year's, Christmas was ridiculous.
Yeah. Luckily, I avoided it, but I don't know. I've had it before, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I guess just good luck. I feel like that's half of it. So, so today we're going to kind of talk about some training, kind of talk about our experiences before college, during college, after college, and just kind of have a nice open format. Kind of explain what we wish we knew when we started training, what we've learned throughout our time training, and just what we're using now, what we're utilizing with our current training, our split, stuff like that. So hopefully everyone can relate to this. Most people listening probably train some type of way in the weight room, running, something like that, or just play a sport. So hopefully you can relate and learn a little something from this and give us some feedback, what you like and didn't like. So we'll start out first with kind of when we started training. When I remember you were talking about it, was that when you started to get serious with football? Was that around junior year you started training?
Yeah. I mean, I had always been training before that, probably since like modified is when we like had scheduled workouts in the gym and stuff like that. I never really liked it. I honestly hated it. Just one, because I was weak, and two, I don't know. I just wasn't really into it at the time. But I would say around junior year, is when I got more serious into it. But yeah, pretty much starting out, I kind of just like stuck to the basics. Whatever we did in the weight room. So it was a lot of bench, squat, deadlift, hang clean, that kind of stuff. And I didn't really stray from that. So whatever we did in the weight room was kind of what my workouts were. I didn't do any extra work, extra workouts of my own. Starting out, it was kind of all just in the weight room. But I knew I needed it to get better. You know what I mean? For my sports. And that became pretty apparent just through like coaching and training trainers that I had. And then I would say towards junior year, or actually I'd say sophomore year, my first year on varsity, is when I kind of started to like idolize those kids in the weight room that you know could push big weight. And and those kids that could push big weight, it really translated to the field because they were beasts on the field. And that's when I wanted to start getting better on the field significantly too. So I started to really idolize those guys, and I kind of tried to like hone in on my own craft and see where I could get better, see what they were doing. I was just soaking up a bunch of knowledge because I wanted to be like them. I want to be one of those guys that when I was a senior, the younger guys were looking up to him, being like, dang, like he's a beast in the weight room. He puts in the work and it shows on the field. But yeah, so I definitely idolize those guys and kind of and perfect. Now I wouldn't say perfected. Try to like perfect my own craft with it. But yeah, I guess once I started getting strong though, and I got that fever of like lifting heavy weights, it became like an obsession of just max out every single day. But I just needed to push the limits. I needed to max out. So it was either a 1, 2, or 3 rep max each session. Not sure if that was the smartest. We'll kind of jump into that in a little bit. And yeah, I started watching YouTube, and I found a few YouTuber guys like Rich Piana. Rich Piana was like one of my first YouTube guys that I watched.
Yes,
and he
sir.
was an absolute unit with tattoos everywhere. I was like, dude, that's me. Like, I got to be Rich Piana. So I adapted a lot of his principles and stuff like that. And it was just, it was crazy. I was just eating everything in sight, just trying to get massive, maxing out weights in the weight room all the time. So that's kind of how it started before I really started to, come to college and perfect the craft. What about you, man?
Yeah, it started. I mean, I remember one of the first times I was at the YMCA, lifting with my brothers, and we were benching. That was probably like freshman and sophomore year. And I think I had 10 on each side, and I was like grinding out some reps. And like, that was my first time I remember like lifting. I was like, damn. And I saw other people, like you were saying, who were good on the field, just repping out like a plate or two. I'm like, what, how do you even get there? It was almost like unmotivating. Like I was almost
okay.
like, that was before I reached the newbie gains, that phase where you're like just
Yeah.
starting to lift, you feel weak as hell. You don't know
Yep.
the technique. You don't know what you're doing. And you're like, how is this even possible to like even get a plate on each side? And I was like,
Facts.
man, this is crazy. And then eventually, so I'd kind of like stray from the weight room in the off season. I would go to Mendon, which is Mendon High School back in Rochester. That's where the weight room was for off-season lifting. So I would go there sometimes, but I wasn't consistent with high school workouts. And then sophomore year of high school, I hurt my back, missed the whole season. And then that off season, I missed. I didn't even start lifting until after winter break. So I just like took the whole time off because I just couldn't move. And then eventually that spring I started lifting hard. I was really motivated and just like I was just focused more on lifting, but nothing like crazy. I would still kind of avoid the power cleans. I would do squats sometimes. Like I was a big bench guy, not as much the lower body.
Everyone's a
Yeah.
huge bench guy when they first start out.
Because clean seemed so like complicated with the technique, and our coaches tried to teach it all the time, but like it's tough when you got 30-40 guys in the weight room, all just young high school kids just trying to max out like you're saying all the time, because they're like, fuck it, let's toss the plates on. And then like I'm just like, I don't even know how to clean. I don't know what I'm doing. And then squats are just uncomfortable and difficult, so like I would just half avoid them. And then we played junior year, and then after junior season, that's when I mentioned before, coach wanted me to gain weight and get better and saw something in me. And then that's when I started lifting more, really committed myself to the weight room. But that was like that off season was the first time I lifted 3, 4, 5 times a week consistently for a whole year. And that's when I got my bench. I don't know, before it was probably 225, got it up to 315 or like stuff like that, like moving up some solid weights. Cause we always watch the kids power clean. We did like a power clean competition, and guys would be power clean like 225. And I was like, dang, I don't know how anyone did that. And then eventually got mine there and stuff like that. But I think a lot of it is you need that encouragement. I think in the beginning, for some guys, at least, I know for me and my brothers, we all were like, we weren't really committed to lifting until we had somebody tell us like, hey, we need to do it. And then they bring you along and they kind of show you what to do. And then after like a month, you're bought in. You're like, all right, I'm getting strong now. I can see a little bit of differences. I'm moving. Like once you start adding some weight, seeing like any semblance of muscle on your body, and you're like, all right, you're getting some confidence. And it's very good. So that was kind of my first experiences. And as I gained weight, I got stronger too, which makes sense. So that really helped the confidence lifting as well.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the thing with anything, not just like for athletics, like we're talking about, like anybody
Yep.
who's just entering the gym, all they need is a good mentor, somebody who
Yeah.
can kind of like teach them the ropes, whether that be online, YouTube, that kind of stuff, Instagram, finding a good mentor like that, or having a friend that wants to go and push you every day. So like having a good
Mm-hmm. mentor
to kind of like guide you through the initial first steps, or having a friend that's kind of new with you, and then you guys can both go through the experience together. Is the first step. And then the second step, what you said is starting to see the gains, like the newbie gains.
Yep.
And that's kind of that's when the addiction starts, when you start seeing those newbie gains, whether it be strength or hypertrophy, because they happen quick. That first like 6 to 18 months, I would say, when you're in the gym is when you're going to see the most growth and strength, size, everything. So it becomes an addiction pretty quick. And yeah, it's a fun time. I definitely wish I could go back, because there's definitely some things that I could have improved upon, which is what we're going to touch on next.
Yep.
But yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great time.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think for people to that's the key. If you haven't been lifting seriously or haven't been training seriously, whatever your goals are, whether you want to run or lift, I think having somebody to push you is really important. Having somebody you can kind of model yourself after, you can realize they came from what you did. They weren't strong or fast, and then they eventually improved. And then, like we mentioned previously, setting goals is huge in life. No matter if you're doing personal training like you are, or you're getting a job, or doing whatever you're doing, playing a sport, all this stuff is really important to have goals. And that's how it is. And if you're in high school, or you just want to start lifting, setting some simple goals, going 3-4 times a week, having a good plan of how you want to train is really important just when starting out. I'm sure you notice that when you're training people who haven't been training a lot, just set a simple plan and they probably grow a lot.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be anything over the top when you're first starting out. Don't overcomplicate things at all, because again, they don't need to be. A lot of it is nervous system adaptation at the beginning anyway. So you're going to see gains pretty much no matter what you do. But I think a good point what you said was identifying that your mentors or whoever pushes you, what pushes you, they were like you at one point too. So not just looking at them and thinking like they were never at ground zero like you're at right now.
They weren't just swole as hell like out the womb. Like they had to grow into that. Like
you got to be able to connect with them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So I think that's really big. And then what else were you to say?
Nothing. I was just if you were ready to move on, I was just going to go to the what we could have done better, that kind of thing.
Sure.
I mean, we already touched on it a little bit, but do you want to start?
Yeah, I think for me at least was hitting legs and being consistent. I think those two, which really just comes down to being uncomfortable. Like if you're uncomfortable in the weight room, you're working hard still, you're working through the uncomfortability. That's really key. And that's if you're 30 and you haven't lifted, that's just the key. Get uncomfortable, do things that are uncomfortable and keep pushing through. And I think for me, I got uncomfortable when I was younger and sometimes would just quit instead of pushing through. And I think that was to the detriment of sometimes, especially midway through high school, if it was like squats or cleans. And I just didn't want to, I was like, this is hard as hell. I don't really know how to do it. I'm too afraid to ask anybody for like serious help. They've already shown me basic technique, but like a little more help. And I think if I had to go back, I would just focus more on basics, focus more on my squat technique, clean technique, being consistent, showing up. We had lifts Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then the key for me, if I had to go back, was just showing up consistently, go there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, work hard. And I think that's something that can be taken as advice for anybody in any kind of phase of life is kind of do things that are uncomfortable and be consistent with it. And I think that can help you grow a ton. How about you?
Absolutely. I would say the biggest things that if I had a chance to go back and change, definitely would just be focusing on technique and form. I knew basic technique and form, like you were saying. We were taught basics. But yeah, like as far as like the squat go, I definitely wasn't getting full depth on my squats. Bench, I would lift my butt off the bench probably about 2 feet just to get that 135 rep up. And just a whole bunch of stuff. Like it was kind of sloppy form and it was all ego lifting. So it was all how much weight could I push? And that's kind of when the newbie game started, is when that ego lifting started. It was just like form kind of went out the window and more weight went on the bar. That's not how you should do it. You should take a slow progressive overload approach. And I wish I just had more programming. So like on the side, when I would come in and do workouts on my own, that wasn't with the football team. Again, it was all me and my boys just straight. We would just grab dumbbells and see who could curl the most. You know what I mean? Like it was just that. It was just a straight competition of egos at that point. Yeah. With form and safety thrown out the window. So yeah, I would say that is probably the biggest thing that I wish I could go back and change and just kind of have more of like a periodization, like mesocycle approach to things with small goals and form in mind.
Yeah. Have you watched the YouTube channel Renaissance Periodization?
Yeah.
With Mike Rizzutel?
Yeah.
I've watched him a lot about kind of just training and programming and stuff. Coach Con McNally actually put me onto him like 2 years ago. And I watch that YouTube all the time. He's awesome.
The only thing with his channel is it can get so boring sometimes because he's just sitting there in like a lean back chair. You know what I mean? Just talking to the camera.
He's just chilling. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. I mean, I guess we're doing the same thing, but yeah, it's funny. It's like a lecture. It's like, because he just has the PowerPoint right next to him, but like, I don't know. He has like those funny dad jokes and I like the dad jokes. So I kind of get attached to it, but yeah, check out Renaissance Periodization on YouTube for some good programming.
Absolutely.
It's pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, and his just information is critical. I mean, he has a lot of good things to bring to the table.
Yeah, and I think he's a doctor. I think he's PhD in whatever nutrition or what is it, exercise science. So yeah, he's pretty smart. So kind of going through high school now, we can kind of transition into kind of experiences in college, how training changed, and then what kind of went on during college training, especially playing Division I football. I can start, I guess, for me, I think one of the biggest difference, or the two biggest differences I noticed was first, in the weight room, the less time that you have the rest. It's just more intense. You're going, you always have multiple things going on at once, and you always have to be focused. You always have to be moving. and a positive attitude with a positive body posture, all that stuff. So you've got to, whatever you're going bench press, you hit the bench press. And then after that, you're either spotting somebody or going to do a set of lat pull downs or a set of band pull aparts. And you're always running everywhere too. You can't walk anywhere. And if you walk anywhere, your coaches could get mad. Obviously, unless you're like maxing out squats and stuff, it's a little different. It's a little different environment, but normally it's a high pace environment and it's not CrossFit. You're working on form, technique. Most of the reps are whatever, kind of 3 to 8, and they're nothing super long, but it's all really quick, going around everywhere. And the workouts get a lot of stuff done, but they're really fast. Usually have some workout partners in there. And that was something I wasn't used to, is the speed. I used to bench back in high school, hit a set of bench, go walk around, talk to my buddies, go to the water fountain, come back for the next set. And like this, it wasn't. You bench, then you go hit your lat pull downs, then you go hit your band pull aparts, you come back to bench, your hands are fried. You're like, your forearms are fried, you're going, and then you're like, I can do so much more than 185 for 6, but you're only doing 185 for 6. And you feel like a pussy, and you're just like, what is going on? And that's something I never really knew about when I went into college. I thought it was going to be similar, just hitting heavy weights and then just kind of rest. And that's more powerlifting. And then the second thing I noticed was the intensity during running. We didn't do a ton of conditioning, and I don't know how many high schools do a ton of conditioning, and especially in the off season. But for us, we ran a good amount when we got to UB throughout my time, and it was really helpful. Obviously, on the field, you're heavily conditioned. You can play a lot of snaps and stuff, but in high school I wasn't used to that. So just the overall conditioning, just the warm up, like the first week, I remember I had like a cramp in the warm up just because I wasn't even like, I was out of shape, but like I was hydrated, I was everything. My body just wasn't used to like that much running and lifting. So the overall intensity was just much higher than high school. And that was basically the first summer. That's what I noticed. How about you? What were the first couple things you noticed?
Yeah, so kind of similar to you, fairly similar actually. Pace, time management, intensity, and programming were all through the roof compared to high school. So yeah, the coaches know what they're doing. They know how much time they have to work with, and they know what needs to get done. So when you get in there, like you were saying, there's no messing around. You're locked in, and there's no walking. It's all fast paced, and that's something I definitely wasn't used to from high school. And time management, meaning, like you were saying, you hit your bench and then you're immediately onto something else. You're onto a band pull apart. So it's like a push-pull movement, or you're hitting your bench, immediately spotting your partner, and then you guys are going off to do dumbbell rows before your next set of bench. So time management, and then intensity. Intensity was huge when you have multiple strength coaches, and about, I don't know how many guys were in our lift groups, around 20 to 30.
Yeah, 20 to 30. Yep.
Yeah. So intensity with 20 to 30 guys, 3-4 strength coaches. It's like a test boosting environment. You know what I mean? They're all, the music's going, we're all running around. Like, it's kind of hard to like not be into it. You know what I mean? Like, even in the early mornings, like when I would wake up super tired, like, oh, I don't want to go, I don't want to get up. Yeah. And then you're there, and like you're around all your buddies and the strength coaches, and the music is playing, and then after the warm up or whatever, it's like, it feels like it could be 1, 2 in the afternoon. Like you're just locked in, ready to go. So that was something I noticed. And then just like the strict programming. Like we had so many great strength coaches that put us through so many different types of programs, but I feel like all of them benefited us in one way or another. But as far as conditioning, like you were saying, I honestly think I was pretty solid conditioning wise. We did a lot of Victor, I would say. You're good, Sparky.
Sorry. Wait 1 second. Let me just wait. Sparky. We'll just edit this part out. Sparky's staying the weekend. He's staying the weekend with us, and I think Malin's just getting home from working out. Sorry.
You're good.
He's just a nuisance.
So as far as like programming or the conditioning, I was pretty good. We did a decent amount of Victor, and then I did the want to get fast on the side, so we did a bunch there too. So, but I do remember that first week, you and Mr. Jake Molinich struggled a little bit. We should have Jake on here one day. He can talk about his first week at Buffalo.
Yeah, we'll definitely have Jake on. He played fullback and tight end with us. He went to high school with me. Jake Molinich, and he was number 44, stud fullback. and
Dude,
now he's
night
training
and
for
day
pro day.
difference. Night and day difference from day one to now. I'm gonna be honest, Jake. If you're watching this, I didn't know if you were gonna make it, man. I didn't know if you were gonna make it that first week, but from where you were to where you are now is incredible, and that's
Dude.
hard work, dedication, and being an absolute psychopath in the gym and on the field.
And he's got like, I was always confident because he just had that hit power, which you just can't teach.
Yeah.
Like if you watch his high school highlight film,
he's just straight no quit like on anything.
Yeah.
Like the dude could literally, his finger could be completely sideways, perpendicular to the rest.
Yeah.
And he will go line up and do it again and smack you as hard as he can. There's no quit in him. He's an absolute dog.
Yeah, he's gonna go until he just passes out. Like he might have the best like just 5-minute film session I've ever seen. Like just watching, even from UB too, if you put on his film, like some of his just inside zone, split zone, go crack back to the end is just wild. Like he just folds dudes. So I'm excited for him. He's gonna do the pro day, and I think in March. I know he's gonna kill it, hit hella bench press. He's gonna be faster than I think people realize. He's got a little more straight line speed. I think
his linear speed is good. I've always said that. He's not the most agile when it comes to maybe like route running or something like that, but that's not his game anyways. He doesn't need to do that. His linear speed is good enough. It's very good. So.
Yeah, and he's really good on special teams too. The special teams ability is key, and so we're rooting for Jake coming up in March, and then in the draft process and all that. So it's all good for him. We're past teammate from the 585, and then I was going to mention one other thing I think from training is kind of the rehab and recovery aspect of it that maybe wasn't paid attention to as much in high school. We I think in high school it was just go lift as hard as you can until you can max out, and then just go home, rest, and then the next day do the same thing. And in college, I don't know if it's just our joints just age a little quicker than normal people, but it's by the time sometimes in college, especially later in college, you got to recover from every workout. Dude. Yeah, you feel like an old man. I remember coming into college and people were some of our past teammates and older guys were like, you got to get in the training room, go roll out. And I was like, I feel fine. I don't need to do that. Are you in the ice tub? I'm like, I'm not going to ice tub. I feel good. Yep. And then by year 3 and 4, I'm like, oh man, I got to do that. So I think one of the biggest aspects that a lot of people overlook, and maybe some people don't need to pay as much attention to if they're not playing football, they're not taking all the hits. But at least for us, it was really important just to hit that rehab, recovery, stretch, all that stuff. I think that's something I kind of neglected earlier in my college career and maybe paid the price for later. What about you?
Same thing. I never really paid too much attention to it when I was younger in my college career, but you would see those older guys, like those 5th, 6th year seniors walking around limping everywhere, like limping back and forth to the ice bath. They just lived in the training room, and you can kind of tell who took care of their body and who didn't over the years. You know what I mean? And again, I was the same guy. I was that guy that was like, wow, why are they so beat up, man? Why are they walking like they're 80 years old? Like, I feel great. I'm ready to do another workout. You know what I mean? But yeah, so like you were saying, like the foam rolling, stretching, Normatec, that kind of stuff, ice baths. And then even besides that, you can do all that stuff, but if you're not sleeping and you're not eating right, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So I would say sleep, nutrition, and then taking care of like soft tissue work, mobility, and things like that would be most imperative for long-term success, especially training at that frequency and intensity.
And if you have anything nagging, like I think sometimes people like whatever, they're squatting their hips just doesn't feel right, but they just keep going or whatever the thing is. I think if you have any nagging stuff, whether you're playing sports or not, just kind of address that instead of just ignoring it. I used to be a big ignore guy. I'd like, my shoulder's a little sore today, ignore it. It doesn't mean stop the workout, skip the workout, or even do anything, but just take that as a mental note. My shoulder doesn't feel great today. I'm still going to hit the workout. I'm not going to not do it, but let me just go after, hit some stretches, hit some band stretches, some strengthening exercises, simple stuff like that, just so you're not completely ignorant to the fact that you could get hurt eventually. Maybe not now, but you could get hurt eventually. So just be proactive with the approach. I think is really important, whether you're playing sports or not, especially, if in normal life, you don't want to be hindered by some weight room accident. If you're just working a job and you're going to lift and then you get hurt lifting, you might not want to go back and lift. So you want to make sure that if you prevent any kind of injuries just by taking care of yourself. If you're like when knees sore, look up some knee exercises, simple stuff like that can really be helpful for keeping people just in fitness in general.
Absolutely. I was just going to touch on that a little bit. So just avoiding the injuries, like you were saying, optimizing the things that we just talked about before. So like the soft tissue, foam rolling, sleep, nutrition, all that, optimizing those first, and then listening to your body. You know what I mean? Like you were just saying, like if your knee hurts, don't freaking ignore it. Like get it done. Take care of yourself, or else it could turn into a lingering, nagging thing that in a few years' time could be more than just nagging. You know what I mean? So listening to your body, whether that be you're not getting enough sleep, so you got to go to bed an hour earlier. Maybe you're not feeling great and you need a deload instead of just trying to keep pushing through it, and then your central nervous system's fried and you can't focus at work that day. You know what I mean? So just listening to your body and addressing things and not ignoring it, I think is huge. What else did I have here? I think that's pretty much it.
And then I had one question, since you're training people and stuff, how often do you do deloads? Because I've been lifting since football ended, which is early December, pretty consistently. I don't think I've deloaded. Like, how often do you deload for clients? I was wondering.
So it really depends. If you're somebody who's on an aggressive program that is like pushing incredibly hard every day, your central nervous system is going to need more rest than others. You know what I mean? So whether that be just frequency of the week, so maybe you're only working out 4 times a week instead of 6, if you're really pushing the intensity and frequency. So deloads for them might be more often than people who are just in the gym to maybe get their step up, or get their heart rate up for the day. You know what I mean? Not really trying to build crazy muscle or anything like that. So kind of just depending on them though, how they're feeling. So like I said, if they're super dragging every day, they're tired every day, they can't make it through the day, then and their weights start going down in the gym. So they've gone up from the initial programming, maybe they'll plateau, but then if they start going back down, or if this plateau stays, a deload week might be in the realm of conversation. So that's kind of how I deal it. And then I do that with myself too, just keeping track of numbers and your progress. And then
that makes sense. And I think one last thing about college, I think that's really helpful, is having just coaches there and people who are motivated. I think surrounding yourself with motivated individuals who have your best goals in mind are really important. I think, as athletes, we can take that for granted, especially because we're just used to having strength coaches who want you to get stronger, bigger, faster, healthier. And then we sometimes are like, oh, these guys are just pushing us so hard, or it's almost like we look at them like a nuisance, but actually they're helping us a ton. So I think that's something is, if you never played college sports or whatever, having somebody who's either a training partner who knows a little bit more about training and nutrition is helpful, or just having a coach is really important. I think you never want to be the smartest person in your group. And with college, I definitely wasn't, whether it was with football or training. We had tons of coaches who knew a ton about football and a ton of coaches who knew a ton about training. And I think that's really important to take when you leave athletics. You want to make sure you have smart people around you who can kind of help build that mindset and build your goals up, whether it's on the field or off the field or in the weight room or in the work environment. So I think that's all really applicable to any aspects of life as well.
Absolutely.
Get those coaches.
All about leveling up, man. You never want to be the smartest guy in the room. You always want people around you that have more to offer, and then you pick up on it. So absolutely. I would fully agree with that.
And then I'm interested to hear, especially about your training post-grad, because I've watched your Instagram account and watched you do a lot of almost like more bodybuilding, definitely more mind muscle connection focused exercises. So how's the training so it went from high school, you're maxing out all the time, you got the fuck it mindset, you got the newbie gains, you're hitting 135 last week on bench, then 155 the next week, next month you hit 185, you're like, let's go, this is gonna happen forever, this is how. And then it eventually slows down, you get to college, it's more about endurance mindset, you're learning more about the mental aspect of lifting, training, how to apply that onto the field, the small details in the weight room, applying onto the field, how those relate, they'll connect. the small details, whether it's your technique is going to happen on the field, or if you do something stupid in the weight room, you get a penalty on the field. They connect all that. And then after learning all those different things, how has your training kind of transitioned into now you lost weight, you're leaner, you look fucking ripped? How's the training kind of, how's it changed for you? And what do you like? What do you like more? And what do you kind of wish you, I don't know, wish you didn't do, I guess?
I would say the biggest difference now compared to then is going to be what you were saying, the application.
Yeah.
So the translation and application between weight room to the field, that was kind of all we were, focused on. Obviously, we were focused on getting stronger in the weight room overall, but and putting on weight or losing weight, depending on what kind of guy you were. He was always kind of putting on weight and getting stronger, but translating that to the field. So everything we did in the weight room, whether it be power clean, overhead presses, anything like that, was to directly translate to a better play when we would lace it up. So now I'm definitely not focused on anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I guess my biggest principles now is feeling good, feeling healthy, having good joints.
Yes.
Yeah, muscle, just everything healthy. You know what I mean? And it's definitely more of a mind muscle connection. I've transitioned from maybe the 3 to 6 rep range, which is for strength, power output, to now, dude, I even fluctuate. I go up to like 25 reps on some things. So
like what? I'm interested to hear.
I would say the biggest things that I would do highest reps on, that I think I can get away with and still recover, is like rear delts. So rear delts, I don't go too heavy on. When I go too heavy, I don't feel it. I keep the weights relatively lighter, and I hit like between 15 and 25 reps or something like that, just to get that crazy pump in my rear delts.
Yep.
Rear delts, I keep shoulder day in general. I keep shoulders pretty high reps.
Yeah. I just did that. I had a back workout today, and I did the little rear delt kind of tri-set. I did Jeff Nippert. I'm doing his push-pull legs kind of split right now. Yep. I saw on YouTube, and I had a rear delt, like the reverse fly rear delt machine when you're going. I had 15 to 20 reps, and then face pulls, and then band pull aparts, and that was all 15, 20 reps. So I can, and he kind of said, get the blood, get the pump in there with the kind of the more reps. So that makes sense.
I start with rear delts on shoulder day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I start with rear delts, and then I'll hit the laterals, and then maybe I'll do a press at the end or something. I'm not too focused on pressing when it comes to shoulder day.
Is that just because of shoulder health, or you don't feel as much?
No, because I hit chest twice a week, and I'm hitting chest twice a week, and I pair chest with shoulders, but you're already hitting your front delt all the time just through any pressing movement you're doing, whether it be flat or incline. So you don't really need to keep drilling that front delt when you're doing shoulders. I focus on keeping them wide. So that's like the lateral raises, and then that rear delt. You can't forget about the rear delt. But overall, going back to what we were talking about, just from lower rep ranges to higher rep ranges, and I focus on now not moving the weight just for the sake of saying I moved 300 pounds. It's all mind muscle. Literally, you'll catch me in the gym like straight eyes closed during my reps. Yeah. And that's just straight me trying to connect as hard as I can with whatever muscle group that I'm using. And I've noticed a huge difference just on, not even growth, because I've been like losing so much weight. So it's kind of hard to tell whether you're growing or not because you're in such a deficit, but just like being able to get a pump in my chest if I want it. You know what I mean? Like the way we were training in college, like I would never really get a pump in the weight room. Maybe at the end when we would do like a finisher set or something like that. But
Coach Lou.
yeah, something like that. But it was all just straight power output translation. So yeah, definitely it's now more focused on joints feeling good, healthy, muscles feeling healthy, and mind muscle connection overall. Higher reps. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I think for me, definitely went into the health mode postseason. Did pretty similar exercises, still focused on the big exercises. Kind of got used to squatting again. I didn't squat since like May, just due to the back. So just been kind of getting used to hitting the weights again. Still really nothing too heavy. I'm starting to push the weights a little higher on bench. Squat, I'm trying to push the weights a little bit, but it just tweaks the back so easily. So I'm trying to be cautious with it. I'm just getting a belt as well for squatting and stuff. And then I've just been doing a ton of core stability workouts. Been doing the McGill Big 3 all the time. And then I've been doing a lot of variations of walking with like a really heavy kettlebell, dumbbell, something like that with one arm, and really focusing on the side core stability. A lot of planks. Focusing on the mind muscle connection with planks has been really interesting. I never really even focused on my core in planks. I was just focused on staying up as long as I could and just have like somewhat of a flat back. But now I'm really focusing on squeezing, whether it's a side plank, squeezing
the abs.
Yeah, squeezing the abs, and it feels way better. And now I'm not worried. Like, obviously I want to keep improving my times, but I want to make sure I have that squeeze. And it's the same way with most parts of the workouts now, is focusing on that mind muscle connection. I think legs, I had a pretty good one in college, just because we've done so many different leg movements, those hamstring curls. We did the lunges, squats. So I feel like I have a pretty good connection with the legs, but especially my back, I never had a great connection with. I don't think we hit we hit back, but nothing like crazy besides bent over rows, lat pull downs, pretty basic stuff. And now kind of getting more used to just working out the back, focusing on the squeeze. I think my back is growing the most out of anything, just because of that, because I think it was just wasn't focused on for so many years throughout high school and college. And that's partially my fault as well, just because I kind of neglected it. As a lineman, I was like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to do pull-ups in 300 pounds. I only can do like 3 or 4 pull-ups anyway. So I never really focused on back because it was almost like seemed like too heavy of a task. So now I'm just kind of getting used to that. And then for arms, especially, I don't feel like my arms ever grew, especially off season, they'd get bigger. During the season, I would be beat up. So if I do curls, my forearms would be ripped up, or any of that stuff. My shoulder, whatever it is all beat up. So I didn't hit a lot of arms. So now I'm hitting that consistently. And it's fun to kind of train differently. I definitely miss training with teammates and coaches though. That's one of the biggest things. Just having the whole weight room lit is just a great time. So
especially on the days that you don't want to be there at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think a good piece of it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask kind of what's your main ways to get ready to work out in the morning? I know you train people early. I know we've both lifted early. What are like some of them? I think for some people, it's tough to lift or work out or run after a long day of work, whatever you work 9 to 5, and you don't want to go to the gym at 6. It's like, then it pushes back your whole day. You can't go to bed early. So how do you kind of get ready to work out, whether it's 5 a.m., 6 a.m., like that?
Yeah. So pretty much I'm scheduling my workouts around clients. So it could be 8 a.m. one day, 6 a.m. another day, 6 p.m. another day. So it's I don't really have a strict schedule. And that kind of sucks. I wish I did, but it is what it is. Like you were saying. I guess the best ways that I would get myself mentally ready, even if it's like a bad day for me, is always having a good meal before, whether that be like an hour and a half before or 2 hours. So I always have like a decent meal with a high amount of carbs just to give me some energy. And then I need some sort of stimulant, whether that be caffeine, a pre-workout, coffee, something. I do take breaks from those. So if it's like an easier day for me, I won't go heavy on the stimulants. I'll take a pump product instead with no stim. So I would say the biggest days though, when I'm really struggling, it's got to have a good meal, decent amount of carbs, and like a pre-workout just gets me going.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you like the pump products? I've never taken those without stims. How is that? Like, what do you feel?
I'm a huge pump product guy, dude. I have like 4 different ones. Yeah. Oh yeah. Shit. They're amazing. And there's a bunch of good brands out there that make some good ones. There's some brands out there that are money grabbers. So you got to just watch out for it and look at
what are the good ones?
I noticed that. So Gorilla Mind.
Yeah, I like Gorilla.
Yeah. Gorilla Mind has amazing pump products. Gorilla Nitric is what it's called.
Yep.
They got some good flavors in there. Another good one is huge supplements. This is what I recently have found, and I haven't strayed away. I take their BCAAs pre-workout pump product, all of it. So huge supplements, Gorilla Mode. What's another like really solid one?
Is that with the glycerol in there? Glycerol in the pump product?
Yep,
yeah,
glycerol.
I've seen them talk about that. Okay.
Estrogen, or I think it's estrogen or something like that. Glycerol. It's they're all nitric oxide boosters is basically what it is. Some will have like beetroot powder in them, but another big one just for blood flow overall is citrulline. You want to look for pure citrulline, so L-citrulline, not citrulline malate. A lot of companies will say, oh, this product has 6 grams, which is like the upper limits. I mean, Gorilla Mode has 9 or 10, but Some will say, oh, we have 6 grams of citrulline in our pump product, and it's citrulline malate. So, and that's generally a 2-to-1 ratio, which means you're really only getting 3 grams of citrulline, because it's
They're kind of
citrulline
bullshitting you.
attached to malic acid, basically. Is what it is. So
Finessing you.
L-citrulline is what I look for, and then glycerol, the nitric oxide boosters and stuff like that. But they're amazing,
Nice.
dude.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. And then I just want to hit on again. So for like, I think for my advice too, because there's a lot of people who work out early, but sometimes they struggle. And if you're working out at 6 a.m., sometimes people don't want to eat before. I know for myself, I don't have an appetite that early. And I think some like advice, I think I'm kind of with you. If you can have a nice meal, sometimes I'll make rice in an Instant Pot, and I'll make rice and eggs in the nighttime, and then I would just warm them up in the morning, eat them. But sometimes people aren't hungry at all. And in that case, maybe have like a banana. If you're working out at 5, 6 a.m., have a banana, have some coffee or some kind of pre-workout, get those kind of pre-carbs in there. Or some people really like lifting on empty stomach. I know for me, I don't mind, especially like if it's not leg day, I've been doing intermittent fasting, so I don't even eat until 4 or 5 p.m. So I train every day fasted. And it's, if I have some good caffeine in me, I'm ready to rip it up and get after it. So I think the main thing is, get some quick carbs if you're working out at 6, 5 a.m. and then get some caffeine in, hopefully on an empty stomach too. If you're going to work out, fasted, have that caffeine. It's probably going to hit a little harder. All those supplements and stuff that you take, whether it's pumps, might hit a little harder. I don't know specifically about pumps, but I know caffeine for me does. So, and then I think get a good playlist going. I've been playing some new music, and it's been helping me out. So I've been enjoying that, some old Jay-Z and Eminem and some other people. So that's been good. But I think the early morning workouts can be really helpful. I know for me, when I get like an early morning workout, I feel like I almost got more stuff done in the day.
Yeah.
Because I'll go to work, and then I'm like, all right, I worked out today. I went to work, and then I come home and I'm like, all right, now I can read and do, and then make food and then chill. And I feel like I did stuff. And sometimes waiting to that. Yeah, you feel accomplished. Sometimes working out later in the afternoon is easier because you get to sleep in. If you work at 9, maybe you sleep until 7:30. But then later in the day, you're just like, man, I don't feel as
dragging.
much.
Yeah, you're dragging, and you almost feel like rushed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I gotta get home. I gotta get my next meal. It's just, I definitely prefer working out earlier.
Yeah, get it done with if you can. Try to have a little bit of food if you can. If not, don't have food. Have some caffeine, and then you can get after it. So, what was the other question you were going to ask me? You were going to say something, I think. I don't know if you forgot.
Maybe it was about, I think it might have been about just the fasting, or was it after? I don't know. I do have a question for you about working out on an empty stomach, though. I just noticed that, like, if I'm ever going to do a workout on an empty stomach, it's going to be cardio, fasted cardio or something like that. The reason you intermittent fast, is that because of health related reasons, or are you trying to just find a way to get in less calories and be in a deficit all day? What is the reason you do the intermittent fasting?
Oh, I think it's a combination. I've been watching a lot of David Sinclair, who's this longevity doctor who's working on a bunch of different stuff, helping people age slower, live longer. He's been talking about fasting is really important. One of the main contributing factors for people who live long. And I do want to live long. So I've been trying to do the fasting, and I'm kind of a fad diet guy. Like, this is what I like to do. I've tried keto before. I'm doing carnivore right now. I like just trying things out. I want to try vegan. Like, I just enjoy trying things out.
You want to try vegan? No, we got to touch on this. You want to try?
I want to try it. Yeah, why not? So I want to try. I love trying different things. So I really I'm just interested in it. And the intermittent fasting, I want to reduce my mTOR, which is basically your protein in your body can increase aging, even though it's really good for you. It helps build muscle. The more protein you have, the faster you age. So
is that like nitrogen? Does that have anything?
I don't know
the amount of nitrogen in your body. I think it might.
I'm not sure.
Protein is very nitrogen rich.
So. Yeah, so maybe it's David Sinclair. He's got a great podcast, and but he's been talking about the fasting is really important, and because I could eat 2,000 calories every meal and be completely fine, because I'm so used to eating so much food that just reducing the window of eating is just more convenient for me. Because like if I eat 500 calories for breakfast, dude, that's like nothing. Like that's a snack. So like if I have four or 5 meals of 500 calories, like it's just like I prefer just to have 1 or 2 big meals anyway. I feel more satisfied. I feel more full. And it just works out better for my lifestyle too, because I can work out, have some coffee, go to work, do my work. I feel locked in. I'm not, I don't have any brain fog or anything. And then I go home. I'm finally getting hungry. And then I do a little more work or whatever. And then I have a meal at like 4, and then I have a meal at like 7. I'm usually good to go.
So how many hours after your workout do you have your post-workout meal?
Like 5 or 6. So yeah, it's obviously not conducive for like gaining maximum muscle. But honestly, right now it's not my goal anyway. I'm just trying to lose weight. And then eventually when I lose weight, then I'll probably go back into some kind of trying to gain muscle phase. But I still feel like I've got a good amount of muscle. Obviously, like I don't know, it's I don't feel like as good with without the carbs. But my endurance, I think, does feel almost better. I've been running every workout besides leg day, and that feels pretty good. So I can't complain about that. I don't know, that mental clarity without eating just is really, really helpful and interesting for me. So that's why I really fast. Yep.
Alrighty. Cool.
Yep. And then we're gonna head into kind of what the cardiovascular work we do. Now that we're not running and moving all the time. I thought that was a pretty interesting topic. What do you kind of think about that? What do you do for cardio right now that we're not running on the field and doing half gasses and full laps and stuff?
Yeah, so obviously we're not expending nearly as much energy moving around. The heart rate's not nearly as high as it always has been in the past. And so that means calories need to come down, or that kind of activity needs to stay the same. I obviously, where we're living now in New York, we don't have access to an indoor facility like we did at Buffalo. So, crazy conditioning circuits and all that really isn't readily available to us. But anyways, I chose the route of kind of decreasing calories because I'm not moving around as much. But I would say my main sources of cardio would be like 10-minute walks post meals. I always think those are super beneficial if I'm at the gym, in between clients. If I'm having a meal, I'll eat the meal, walk on a treadmill for 10 minutes. There's a lot of studies behind that. We can get into that another time, but just for like blood glucose regulation. So the 10-minute walks, I do incline treadmill walks for probably like 20-25 minutes, or I'll do like a bike. So I'll hit like the Peloton or the sit down bike, depending on how lazy I'm feeling that day. And I'll hit that for like 20 to 25 minutes. And I keep it all pretty steady state. I don't really do any high intensity. Like I'll do some of the rowing machine. Like there's a good few workouts that you can do on the rower that can get your heart rate up, maybe to around that 160, 170 range. But other than that, I don't really, I kind of keep my cardio at steady state, maybe around 130 beats per minute, in between like 130, 140. And I kind of just keep that heart rate going for around like 20 minutes, maybe like, I'd say four days a week, I'll do cardio. And then the other days I'm still active and I'm still moving. I'm still working out. I'm just not hitting like a longer cardio session. I'm still doing the 10-minute walks or a 10-minute bike ride or something like that. But stair stepper, that was another big one. When I was first losing weight, dude, stair steppers and the incline treadmill were like my go-tos. I lost a lot of weight doing a stair stepper, bro. I'd literally be in a pool of my own sweat. But dude, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful because if you do that on leg day, you're screwed. Or you do it the day before leg day or day after. So like honestly.
Yeah, what day do you do stair stepper? Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. So if I had leg day on like Wednesday, I would do a stair stepper on like Monday. And then I would probably do it Thursday, Friday. So the day after. Because I'm not too worried about it the day after, but the day before, I don't want to just thrash my legs on the stair stepper for 40 minutes and then try to hit legs the next day. What about you?
Yeah, that's always
what kind of cardio forms? You were talking to you that you run a little bit. What other like equipment or stuff do you use?
Yeah. So normally I've been a hypocrite lately. Normally I do the 10-minute walks. It's been fucking cold as shit out here. It's like 0 degrees with the wind chill every day. Icy as hell. I feel like I'm about to fall down. So I haven't really been doing the 10-minute walks after meals, to be honest. I do sometimes, but it's just so cold and slippery out. Haven't been doing as much. But before every workout I walk for 10 minutes on a treadmill, walk about, I don't know, like 0.6 miles, nothing crazy, just kind of get the blood moving. And then after every workout, besides leg day, 4 to 5 days a week, I've been running, which is, I started at a mile, then 1.25 miles. Now I'm 1.5 miles. So I do that for my So for 4 days a week, I do the run, and then every week I increase it by a quarter mile. So next week I'll be doing 1 3/4 miles, and trying to work my way up to do a 5K in the spring. So trying to get the cardio up, and I don't know, I just like doing like goal oriented shit. So like if I can just picture doing a 5K, then I can just kind of run. And running, for some reason, for me, like even though I'm not good at it, I'm not fast, but it just kind of like lets that like primal intensity out of me, where I'm just like, especially when I'm outside, I'm just like talking to myself. I'm like, let's go. I just get like hyped from doing hard things. And once I get through that first half a mile of being like, what am I doing? This stinks. Then it gets easier. And that happened to me today. Like by the end, I was speeding up, and I was like, I know I could do a little bit more, but I want to keep kind of working my way up so I don't get burned out and then be like, I'm not going to do it. So just trying to stay consistent. But yeah, walk before every workout, and then I run after every workout. And then normally I get like 10,000 steps a day. Recently it's been a little bit low, but normally I do a lot of, step counters big, just for knowing kind of where you're at in the day. And I was like, we talked about before, the NEAT is really important for just losing weight, the non-exercise energy expenditure.
Non-exercise activity thermogenesis.
There you go. Yeah. See, that's where I got you. You're smarter than me about this. So having that NEAT, I know Stan Everything and you talk about that, is really important. Just moving around throughout the day. And now during wintertime, and here in Buffalo and Rochester, it can be really hard to do. So obviously, like Zach's saying, go hit the treadmill, the stair stepper, all that can be really good cardio. And then running, I like running outside better too. I've done both recently because all the treadmills were taken. So I just ran outside in the parking lot and tracked it. And now I prefer running outside. I'm excited to start doing that in the spring. I think just because I see different things, I don't just see the same window or wall compared to a treadmill. So
some of those sit down bikes, dude, they got the screens. You can ride your bike in Paris.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't know. I'll just watch YouTube if I'm on like I'm doing something like that. Yeah. Running, it's too hard to like watch YouTube or anything. So I just lock in on something in the horizon out the window, and then I just do it.
I also definitely do that with my clients though. So like I know that it's winter time right now and it's hard to get outside and move around a lot. So I always start them with like a 10-minute walk. And that's how I start my workouts too. I always start them with like a 10-minute brief walk. Maybe we'll do like a 6-minute or something like that if they're pinched on time. But I definitely recommend a quick warm up, walking, whatever you want to do, jog, and then we'll do the strength portion. And then I always try to end with a cardiovascular of some sort, whether that be, and it doesn't even have to be like on a piece of what you would call cardio equipment. Sometimes it's just like multiple body weight exercises in a row. You know what I mean? Just to get the heart rate up. So cardio doesn't have to be just running.
A lot of bodyweight squats or bodyweight lunges, push-ups, like my heart's gonna be pumping. I know for me, like anything bodyweight, weighing heavy is like difficult. So that's a really good thing. Or jump ropes, anything like that.
It depends on what you like. Find something you like that can really increase your heart rate, and it's a good source of cardio. Yeah,
for sure. And then I think the next thing we kind of want to talk about, which I saw was interesting, we do our little podcast notes, and this was something that I thought was cool, was kind of the quick thoughts on stocks, self-investing, long-term mutual funds, retirement, the 401k, all that stuff. I saw you put that down. What have you been what are your thoughts on that, I guess?
Yeah. So that's why I put it down, dude, because I had no thoughts on it. I was always that guy that didn't want to spend time learning about any of that. I didn't want to know about stocks. I didn't want it.
Oh, cool.
I don't want to do anything. But I just recently started getting into it with one of my clients who we talk about it very frequently now. So I've downloaded a few apps.
Okay. What apps?
To the Robinhood and Fidelity. And
Fidelity's better.
I feel like Robinhood is so user friendly though.
It is, but they just have some issues in like how they run the company. But yeah, it is. I have Robinhood.
Super user friendly. It's mad easy.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
So
it's just they've blocked trading before. That's the problem.
Really?
So like there was during AMC when everyone was trying to buy AMC, they blocked you from buying it for like a whole day, and they got fined a good amount of money and stuff. It was
they should.
It was kind of messed up. Yeah, like you couldn't buy it or sell the stock, which was pretty messed up. So people lost money.
AMC.
Dude, AMC still, the retail stocks are still kind of moving.
It might be done.
You don't know.
It's so hard to tell though, because I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but, it's gambling basically. So so you got Fidelity, you got Robinhood. What else?
And then as far as I have a like mutual funds account, which
Yep.
my whole family does, we run it through one guy. He kind of takes care of our money. So I have a decent chunk of change in with him, and he kind of just like micromanages my money. It's in
Yeah.
a safer, so non-risky type of like investments and stuff like that.
Yep.
Just slowly building on with what he can and how the stocks are doing and the market and all that. So I have that already, but it's not something I feed money into frequently. It was kind of like I put a big lump sum in a few years
Yeah.
back and kind of forgot about it.
Sure.
So that's something I want to keep doing, is kind of funneling money into there, whatever it be, $50 a month or something like that. You know what I mean? Whatever that I can, I want to start putting some money into there, letting that work for me. And then I also wanted to start a like 401k, like what is it called? Like a Roth IRA account. Is that what
Roth
it is?
IRA. Yep.
Yeah. So I kind of want to start that. And then that's the same thing. You take out, or you tell them to take out a certain percentage or amount of money from your account each month, or each, however, whatever you want to do, however you want to set it up. But that's something I'm definitely interested in setting up, because I've just never really thought about it. I've always kind of like neglected it. And maybe because we've been in football for so long, and you never really thought that far ahead. You're just thinking about practice the next day. So
yeah.
But something that definitely I want to start having my money work for me and stuff. I'm definitely easing back on the Fidelity Robinhood.
You start just ripping it in the beginning?
I went in guns blazing, dude. Like I knew what I was doing. And I slowly found out I have no idea what I'm doing after a few $100s lost already. So
that's good.
Yeah. But I think the main focus for me going forward is going to be that Roth and the IRA Roth and the mutual funds, kind of just playing it safer.
Yeah, for sure. You let your money work for you. Have those secondary streams of income is really important. You already work training and bartending, and then you got other streams of income is really helpful. Just you put that money out of your paychecks, but then you actually get it back eventually, and it's more money than you put in, and hopefully beats inflation in the market as well if you've got a good manager, which I'm sure you do. I think investing is really cool. For me, I was kind of in a different spot because paying for school and being in debt and stuff, I wasn't investing as much, but I still got into it. And actually, I don't know, I've invested a decent amount, got into with Robinhood. My first stocks I bought like Starbucks and then some weed stocks. Yeah, Starbucks is good. Yeah, I had Starbucks, McDonald's, just some things that like people just always go to. And then I had like Aurora Cannabis. I had some cannabis companies, and then I had some gambling companies. Yeah, you're in on Aurora. Let's go. Yeah. So that's based out of Colorado.
Yeah, I'm in on Aurora and Sundial, both, because one of them's going to blow up again. One of them's blown up again, and I just went.
Sundial was the rage back like a year ago.
But now I'm definitely in on Aurora.
Yeah, and then I had some gambling stocks, but now I've been getting into crypto. I got into that a few years ago, and that's my portfolio's on the relatively riskier side, with mostly tech stocks and then cryptocurrencies. As most of my portfolio, I'm looking into NFTs as well. And then also when I'm going to get a job probably in May or June, that's when I'll start my 401k, and I'm in the process of doing the Roth IRA and stuff like that as well. So I think investing is really big. I think a lot of people haven't been taught anything about investing, which makes it seem like it's way more complicated than it is. And there's so much just jargon with the investing industry in itself, that you have all these weird terms that nobody knows what they mean. And they're actually not that complicated once you look them up and understand them and watch like a 10-minute YouTube video or ask a financial advisor, hey, can you explain some basic finance to me? It's pretty simple. On the surface level, obviously, when you get to some different deeper level finance and investing, it gets complicated in investment banking. But for just a normal person to understand basic finance and investing, it's not terribly difficult. But it's the hardest part, like we were saying, for mental health, is the same thing in finance and investing, is asking for help, asking for somebody just to explain something. And luckily for you, you had somebody, obviously your family invests, so they help you. And then you have a client who's talked to you about it. But just having somebody kind of give you a little bit of a guide is really important. And I think a lot of people don't have that. And I'm happy we're talking about it. But yeah, look into a Roth IRA, look into investing a little bit of money, and then dollar cost average. Just put in whatever your paycheck is, just putting a percentage of that every month into investing, and you can split it up into risky and non-risky portfolios or funds or however you want to do it in a single stocks. But put away $100 a month or whatever, $50 a week, however much money you have, and just keep chipping away instead of just putting like 200 in and then just wait for a couple months. Just put in consistent $30 a week, and then you're good.
I think my plan going forward with that is find a amount that I won't considerably notice that is coming out of my account each month or week or however you want to do it. So just find like whatever amount that is for you and put that to the side. But not have it be like you said, $200 where like you're pinched for cash at the end of
you don't want that.
Yeah. So finding a good
be smart.
medium.
Yep, for sure. Find a good happy medium. And then I think another good thing to just mention is how credit is really important. I think a lot of people during college don't even know about credit, what the credit score is, why it's impactful. But after college, when you need to get a loan, whether it's for a car or you want to lease a car or you want to eventually buy a home and all that stuff, you want to build your credit score up. Yep, you've got to build your credit score up. So you want to make sure you're paying your bills on time, obviously, whether it's gas, electric, stuff like that in college. And then get a credit card. Use the credit card, but don't use the full balance all the time. I think a lot of people just think, I've got a $500 maximum. It's my first credit card. Let me spend $490 and then I'll pay it back. And then boom. But that's not what you want to do. You want to spend less than 30% and sometimes ideally less than 10% of that credit limit every month. And then you spend that, you pay it back on time. And eventually your credit score is going to increase. You're going to gain trust. Once your credit score increases, you can get other credit cards with higher balances. Keep using them. And there's a bunch of others, but that's just the simplest kind of way to build your credit. What about you?
Kind of have like a debit card on the side. You know what I mean?
Definitely have a debit card as well.
Yeah. So that's like the biggest thing is not racking up that credit card score and have a debit that you can fall back on.
Yeah. And then find some good credit cards. Some of them do cash back, whether it's for gas stations, grocery stores, certain websites, they have cash back, which is really important. Go look up if you can get 5% cash back on Amazon for a month. Buy a couple things on Amazon that you're going to buy anyway. Use your credit card, pay it back, and then you actually spend less money. It works out.
I'll switch over to MasterCard for me. That would be ideal. I'm not going to say why, but go to MasterCard.
Dude, credit card companies are like, they're kind of messed up too because they take 3% of your income.
Dude, Master's going to crypto. Or not crypto. MasterCard's like flirting with merging with like crypto and NFTs.
Oh, really?
Not that I know anything, but
crypto just bombed. But like all the big companies like Google and stuff and Facebook, you're gonna start buying things with crypto in the metaverse and all these different things. So I just
are you in
investment in crypto. I'm in the metaverse tokens, so kind of. I've got to look more into metaverse. I don't know as much as I should, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I know a little bit about it. But not a ton. So I've got some metaverse tokens. That's about it.
I kind of got to get going here. So let's hop into these Q&As. All right.
Yeah. We'll go quick through the Q&As for sure.
All right, cool. So first one we have here is, what is the best 3-day training split? So somebody who's not dedicated to the gym, maybe they don't have time or the life that allows them to go 5-6 times a week. So what's your 3-day training split if you were to be that person?
All righty. So I'm going to give my brief thoughts before you're the strength coach, so you know more than I do on this, but I would say we did a 3-day split in high school, which I thought was cool. We would do bench, back squat Monday, and then hit some back and arms after that, whatever leg and body parts, but definitely at least back after that. Bench and back squat Monday. Wednesday, hit some kind of clean or deadlift, and then hit push overhead press, a standing push press or something like that. And then once again, hit back and some core. And then Friday, hit front squat, incline bench, and then some back and some core again. That was kind of our 3-day split that we did for intro level. Lifters, I think, worked well, a lot of compound movements, and then end with some more isolation exercises. What do you think?
I would say if you're a beginner, frequency isn't going to be that crazy important. So like a push pull leg could be great for you. You can get in. So push day on Monday. So that would be shoulders, chest, triceps. Pull day on Wednesday. That would be biceps and back. Maybe a deadlift or something. And then Friday would be your 3rd day, and that'd be a leg day. So it would allow you to get in some decent frequency and not be like, if you're a beginner, that's all you need. You don't need anything crazy or like volume out of this world. If you are more intermediate level and you don't want to follow like a push pull leg, I would incorporate more of like so incorporating like either a push pull on one day, legs the next day, and then like a full body on that last day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just so you're
Mhm.
getting a little bit more volume and frequency per muscle group. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say beginners push pull legs is perfect. And then if you're more intermediate, maybe like a push pull, a leg, and then like a full body, and have that
That's
full
good.
body be more volume focused rather than high intensity weights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool.
Alrighty, so on second question, we've got how much training volume is too much volume? How little is too little? Once again, this is more, I think you know more about this than I do. I would say too much is if your central nervous system or you're just tired all the time, you just feel like unmotivated and you're not even excited to go to the gym every day. And then too little is probably you don't get sore whatsoever. You're not straining through the reps. You're doing 10 reps and you could do 20. Like that's probably training too little or too light. What do you think? You know more about this.
That you basically just covered it. Overtraining would be too much. So if you're not motivated, you're super tired all the time, you're not recovering in between workouts, so like you're crazy sore the next day going into your next workout, or say like you hit chest on Monday and you're hitting chest again on Thursday and you're still sore, you're probably doing a little bit too much. So that would be probably too much volume and intensity. And then as far as too little, yeah, stopping short. So like if you do 10 reps and you know you could have done 20, maybe you're gonna either do the 20 or you're gonna find a weight where that 10 reps is maximal for you. You know what I mean? Or pretty close to maximal, like RPE 8, something like that.
Yep.
But yeah, so finding a happy medium, not being crazy, overly sore for crazy amounts of time, or finding a place where you can recover and finding a good rep range and volume that fits for you.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. I think, yeah, that's all really good. And I think the next question kind of relates to this, and it's, they're asking, do you prefer dumbbells or barbells? Does this depend for movements for you, or what do you do? What do you prefer?
Definitely depends on the movement I'm doing. Now I've kind of more switched over to dumbbells. I feel like I get a better contraction. I have not such a limited range of motion, or like I'm able to move the weights in a way where I can get the optimal contraction and mind muscle connection, where with a dumbbell or with a barbell, you might be limited in that aspect of things, where you can't tilt your arm this way, you can't move your elbow, that kind of stuff. As far as like workouts though, I would say like squat, I'm always going to do a barbell squat. I just feel it the most. I have most connection there. Or like a hack squat or something like that. But as far as bench, I've been focusing on like dumbbells, back. I focus a lot on dumbbells. Yeah, so I would say they both have their ups and downs, or pros and cons, if you want to call it that. But right now for me, I would focus more on dumbbells just because I get a better connection with the muscle there. What about you?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it depends on the exercise as well. I think I'm a little more barbell focused than dumbbell. A lot of it is just because it's tough for me for my left hand to grab dumbbells because of a thumb injury. So I just can't wrap my thumb for a lot of things. And if I can't wrap my thumb for dumbbells, I feel like it's gonna fall on my head. So for some exercises, once it gets to heavy dumbbells, any kind of pressing, it's really I have to have my monkey grip with like no thumb wraps. So that can be kind of difficult when it gets to heavier dumbbells, especially pressing movements, overhead, anything like that. But for lighter movements, especially for like arms and stuff, I prefer dumbbells.
Yeah,
I feel I can get better, especially for biceps. Definitely dumbbells, shrugs, dumbbells back, dumbbells. So I think it matters for both, and then it matters. I think certain people have certain body like abnormalities, whether it's one shoulder's tighter than the other, or one hip is a little, you know what I mean, tighter, and elbow, same thing. So I think dumbbells sometimes can let you kind of
helps with muscular
change
imbalance.
the imbalance, the range of motion. You can kind of adjust. Barbell is a lot stricter on the body. So
Absolutely.
I think they're both good to use though.
Yeah, they definitely have their pros.
Yeah. Next question is, would you rather compete in powerlifting or bodybuilding? Which one for you?
Yo, the person who asked me this definitely already knows, man. I'm a freaking bodybuilder at heart, man. Rich Piana. Shout out Rich Piana. Tatted
Rich
up. I want to
Piana.
get huge, juice to the gills. I'm bodybuilding all the way. What about you?
Yeah, I'm bodybuilding as well.
Absolutely, dude.
I'm not strong enough to be a power lifter, dude. Like I don't I don't think I could be. Like it's just when I'm not built for that. bodybuilding, I guess. I don't know if I'd be good at it, but I'd try it out. It'd be kind of fun to just
But here's
try
the
it out.
thing: you could be a power lifter benching 900 pounds and not look like a guy that really lifts. You know what I mean? Or you could be a
Yeah.
bodybuilder. You can still bench a lot because you're massive, but you're gonna look freaking jacked too. You know what I mean? It's the best of both worlds.
Would you rather be a power lifter who's just a beast, a bodybuilder who's like a stud, or would you rather be like a fighter? So you have that, like, you can actually apply your skills in like real life.
Like a Nagano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the latter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be the fighter, dude. Because it's more like you can use your skills as much as like
Facts.
if somebody like there's a bodybuilder who's trying to like flex on you, you're still like,
but that's genetics, dude. You know how hard it is to be like jacked, skillful, and you know what I mean? Like strong as hell. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a good one. And then the next one is, I think it pertains to me. This was somebody asked, how's it going to the bathroom on the carnivore diet? It's not that bad. It's I haven't had really any issues unless I've got fried food. That's the only thing that bothers my stomach. I think I've gotten more sensitive to fried or like unhealthy foods. But besides that, I feel completely good. And then the last question was our current training split. I do a push-pull legs twice a week. So I train 6 days a week. And then sometimes I'll take a rest day in between. So I'll do 3 days rest, 3 days rest, or sometimes I'll just do 6 straight. Yeah, that's about it. How about you?
So sorry, I'm pulling it up right now. I only work out 5 days a week. Saturday, Sunday, I'm training clients, and then I have to go right into work. So I don't train on those days. Maybe I'll do cardio. But so Monday is chest and shoulder. Tuesday is a leg day, quad focused. Wednesday is back and biceps. Thursday is upper chest and shoulders again. And then Friday is kind of like everything that I haven't hit during the week real hard. So, I mean, sorry. On Monday when I'm doing chest and shoulders, I might do like 1 set of triceps. Wednesday when I'm doing back and biceps, I might do like 2 sets of biceps, keep it real light in the volume. So that way on Friday, I come in and I'll do like calves. I'll do a heavy hamstring movement because I focused on quads on Tuesday. So I'll do like a heavy hamstring, couple of movements, and then I'll get some volume in on the arms because I don't do a lot of volume. I kind of hit them indirectly throughout the week, but I don't do heavy sets on that. So it's more of like a bodybuilding style. You know, each day is dedicated to its own body part kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's cool. We've never really done that in athletics, so it's cool to switch that up. And then the last question I'm hearing from people is they want to know, how much do you weigh? That's the big question, the big rumor going around. What are you at right now?
Who asked this? I feel like I know.
I can't say. I've had a couple of people reference it. We could do over under. I could give you a line. 201. What do we got here?
By the end of the day, over.
All right, that's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Like right now, if I stepped on a scale, I'm over. Fresh off the wake up, I don't know if I'm gonna. Yeah, it might be close. It might be
fair enough. Before your morning pee, you could probably make it.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
What about you? Hold on. Let's do this game. All right. Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So last that I checked, you were around 278. I think is what we last left off on, or 279. I think it was.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, what are your calories right now? What are you hitting?
I don't know. I don't really track the calories.
You don't track. Okay.
Well, I somewhat do. I just try to hit under 3,000. I don't really.
Okay. I'm gonna say 272. 273.
Yeah, it's under.
Locked in.
Under.
You're under 273?
I am under 273 and 272.
269.
Under.
Shut up. Are you serious?
I was 268 today. Yeah.
Dang, bro. Good for you. That's good. Hell yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So we're cut phases, carnivore, intermittent fasting. Carnivore's almost done. At the end of the month, I'll end it. Just start adding in some other stuff, but still just trying to meat focused. And then have a lot of vegetables and fruits. And
complex.
Then nothing too crazy. So, but yeah, trying to get lean, like hopefully like you someday. So there you go.
No, I'm on the reverse right now.
Yeah, 1 pound a month, the reverse.
Hey, that's progress. That's progress.
That's fair enough. I know you fluctuate a little less than me, so
Yeah.
But alrighty, I'll let you go bartend today. What is that? The Irish Mafia, right?
Shout out Irish Mafia.
Shout out Irish Mafia. If anyone's
Bloomfield, New York.
anyone in Bloomfield or in Rochester, go to Irish Mafia.
You want a good beer?
Tip
I
Zach
got
heavily.
You. Yes, sir.
There you go. What's your favorite beer there?
I don't drink beer. If I had to choose,
what do you try to like? If anyone asks you, somebody's got to ask you. Hey,
what they beer? Ask me all the time.
Yeah,
I know all the beers, so that's why I'm able to just like kind of like, if I were to drink beer, I guess I would drink this one kind of thing.
Yeah. What do you say?
So I'm definitely not a hazy guy, so I don't like the heavy IPAs. Yeah, it's gross.
Come on.
I don't like beer, dude. I don't drink beer. So I would go for more. Yeah, I guess I would go for more of like a Jake Molinich Ruby Red
Jenny
Kolsch. Yeah.
Okay, Kolsch's are good, dude.
Yeah.
Kolsch's
something.
Are good.
No, I'll definitely go lighter. So I recommend like our Pilsner 101 is like our lightest beer that we have. So I would recommend that. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we'll talk about our favorite drinks some other time, but we'll let you go bartend up the Rochester community. And thanks everybody for listening. Let us know some questions on Instagram or YouTube, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Keep up the positive feedback, guys. We love it. So,
appreciate
pushing us.